Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be checking out, for those of you that are wondering, what are the best artifacts in the game, what are the best back attachments, what are the best mounts, what's the best everything, right? We're going to be looking at a ranking that people have carried out in the Japanese wiki, putting out all the big items over there, right? So if you are looking into buying something, you're trying to whale it out, or you're simply curious about what the meta is looking like in regards to the pay-to-win items right now, we're gonna be looking into that right now. Before we do so, please go ahead and check out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. For now, let's get into it. So today we are over at the Japanese wiki, and before we go through the list, let me just tell you there is also this kind of tier list for PvP, in particular for every single spec, right? So you got archers, you got your different types of warriors, because both of the builds for warriors are very PvP oriented, and then you also have mages and the new class that I totally forgot the name about. But there we go, we are going to be going and looking through the PvE tier list today. You can find these down there in the link in the description, so let's go ahead and do so. We are going to be looking at an S all the way down to C rank in this kind of tier list, and as we can see, we have artifacts, we have mounts, we have back attachments, and that is pretty much all the pay to win items there is in the game. I guess you can also count costumes, but those really don't give that much power to them. So, all in all, what can we see here? Obviously, we are right off the bat going to be faced with the fact that a lot of the stuff that's higher ranked is just the more rare stuff, the stuff we've seen very little in the game, and the stuff that is obviously totally broken. All of these items are extremely pay to win. In fact, most of the stuff is down here at the C tier. Most of these mounts are just incredibly bad. In fact, the unicorn, which is just released, is ranked so damn bad. But yeah, if you are looking into really doing a big of a purchase, this is what you should be kind of thinking about. Am I going to be working well with this kind of builds, right? Here we are ranking every class, right? So this is like affecting every single class. In particular for PvE, this doesn't seem to be separated between classes as there is here. There is no difference between left and right in the ranks, so also every one of these is the same tier. It's not like this is the first one and this is the last one. There's a little bit of an explanation down here about which ones are ranked higher than others and why that is the case, so let's go ahead and check that out. We'll explain each S rank equipment individually and why it's highly suitable, right? So we're not going to be going through every single one of these because we would need to go through Legend of Mushroom. I do have the game open right here, and obviously we would have to look through every single one of the items. That would take a long ass time, so let's just check out the S ranks and why they are valuable, so valuable. So first of all, we have the old Castle Candle. It says it has exceptional PvE performance that it can withstand even with full attack power. Its effect in all stages, steep slopes, trials, volcanic rocks, lava, blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and actually read through it because I don't remember myself what this artifact actually did. So this might as well be the best way to actually check it out together. Increases the character attack by 10% after the battle starts. When the character, Pal, Avian, or Summon deals damage, the character regenerates HP equal to 15% of damage dealt, ignoring PvP healing reduction, up to 1% of the max HP. So every time you deal damage, you're going to be healing up for a lot, to be fair. It's pretty much going to be capped, so every hit you do could potentially heal you 1%. 20 to 39 seconds into the battle, the character loses 1% of current HP per second, and then a little bit later, you're going to be losing 2%, and then even after that, you're going to be losing 5% per second. So you're going to be healing up so damn much from this. That is why it's so damn great. Now, after a little while, it's going to be decaying, but that healing should be enough to keep you alive, right? I'm not saying that you are going to be losing the healing effect once you are starting to get damaged. So this could also be like an off-putting, like you are healing up 1% per hit and then you are also losing 1% per second. So the healing could be offsetting the damage taken, that on its own. Now, let's move on to the next one, the Meteor's Blade. Increases firepower when character, allies, pets, or summons deal damage. If you have enough durability, it's effective in all PvE content, meaning if you're able to live long enough. Again, remember this is translated from Japanese through Google Translate basically, so it might not be the most accurate translation. Detailed performance commentary article is over here, so there's a whole article about this one specific artifact, and we just got this one as well in a recent collaboration event. It was given out for free, so yeah, if you got it, very lucky for you. Now, what it does is increases the attack character by 10% after the battle starts, and then when the character, pal, avian, or summon deals damage, just like the other one, for every 1% of the target's max XP higher than the character. Alright, let me just read that again. When the character, pal, avian, or summon deals damage, for every 1% of the target's max HP higher than the character's, so your own, increases the final damage dealt to the target by a little bit. So if your enemy has more maximum HP, you're gonna be dealing a lot of extra final damage. Meaning that if you are, this is probably very good for mages, I'm assuming. If you just have not too much HP, this is going to allow you to do a lot more flat damage to them. I don't know if it says it's not final crit damage, but final damage works just as well, I think. Otherwise, I'm not thinking it right, but all in all, this sounds like it's just a lot of damage if you're not a tank, if you're not really a beefy warrior. So let's move on to the last artifact over here. The blue flame sword, the damage reduction and critical hit resistance reduction are very effective. Also, the piercing damage after 10 seconds is also useful in PvE as a powerful area damage for clearing stages. The buff based on lost stamina doesn't go well with PvE, but the buff of 10% attack power and 20% defensive power for 20 seconds is also very powerful. Detailed performance over here on the artifact. So if you want to check any of this out, you can go ahead and do so down there in the description, because obviously there's going to be a lot more detail. If you got any of these artifacts, or again are looking into getting them yourself, then you should probably do thorough research before you actually buy into them. Now, do we even have this one in our region? I cannot really even find it. As you can see, it's not there, and I'm not blind, right? I've looked through all of this and it's not here. So this might just be a case that we haven't yet gotten this one released over here, and it does very much seem to be the case unless I am blind, and if I am, so please let me know down there in the comments. Now let's move on to the mounts. Let's just go ahead and check out what the good mounts are here. I think it's in advanced. Yeah, there we go. So the best one over here is going with poetry. Each time you activate a skill, you can fully recover the energy of a random skill and hit it. So you just, I remember this one, let's just read through it afterwards. So the firepower is incomparable, especially when the clone energy is fully recovered. It is effective in all stages, steep slopes, blah, 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 blah. So basically this one... Okay, never mind, I cannot find it. I swear that I thought it was this one, the magic carpet, that it's actually not. It is a little bit similar because this one, you can also get a fully recovery of one random skill after casting 6 skills. In this case, it reads, each time you activate a skill, you can fully recover the energy of a random skill. So this is totally different, and we do not have this one in the West, but this is kind of the same, although a lot less powerful, as you can see. So let's move on to one that we actually have, which is the, I think we do have the snow one. Do we have the book? I don't think we do have the book, actually. So we don't have the book, but we actually have the snow visitor, so let's go ahead and look through what it does first. Reduce all target movement speed by 25%, and for every 10% movement speed that the enemy loses, it's going to be reducing the attack of the enemy by 2% and increasing the duration of crowd control effects on them by 2%. So it's very, very good to control the minions. I'm assuming obviously also bosses, but really it's all about small NPCs. So what it reads over here is, if you achieve minus 100% movement speed with Thorny Thicket and Drunken Bog and Mounted, so I'm assuming it's like a mount, and then I'm not sure if this is the one of the pals, and obviously I know what Thorny Thicket is, that is one of the skills. The opponent's movement will stop completely. It is effective on stages where basically the enemy or the boss is melee, so he needs to be moving towards you. You can totally freeze the enemy in place. This is actually insane, I didn't know that. Okay, so that makes total sense. Getting this one is insane actually for PvE, at least for those stages in particular. And finally, the only back attachment that is on the S tier is actually one that we do not have in the West. I checked out every single one of these back attachments and none of them are the one we're looking for. There's one that's a little bit similar, which is the Fallen Angel, but the one that we are looking for, the S tier, I think that's from a collaboration event, which we do not have here in the West. So all in all, let's at least read through what it does. Increases attack speed speed, critical hit rate, and critical hit damage, so firepower increases, especially with crossbows, so very good for archers, and then that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just going to be very effective. We can also try and find it out. So there you go, here it is. Each time you attack, your attack speed increases by 1%, stacking up to 30 times, so extra 30% attack speed. When attacks reach maximum, you gain 20% critical rate and final crit damage increased by 20%. So you're going to be stacking up a lot of attack speed and then also getting a lot of crit rate and final crit damage. Yeah, this is totally self-explanatory. Archers really love this. So that's it. Those are the best artifacts, mounts, and back attachment that you can get in the game right now. Some of them are not available in the West, unfortunately, but you are definitely going to be trying to look for them if you can. Of course, the links are going to be down there in the description if you want to check out these for yourself. Otherwise, just looking at whether or not your artifacts, the one that you have, or the mount, or the back attachment, which ones are good. Of course, not every single one is going to be good, or rather the best, or just as good in each different class, so you might have to take that into consideration. And we will be checking the PvP rankings for artifacts for each one of the classes in particular down the line in further videos. For now, I'm glad you watched the video until this point, and if you have done so, please go ahead and check out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. I'll talk about it real quick right now. So basically what Aptoide does is that when you download Legend of Mushroom through Aptoide and you try to make any payment through Aptoide, then you're going to be doing so through the Aptoide wallet, as you can see here, and that basically means that you're going to be getting a bonus that can go from extra 10% all the way up to extra 35% of any amount of money you are spending. Right now, I'm only getting 5%. That is because I am not using my own code. If you do go ahead and use the code that you're going to be seeing down here on the screen, as well as down the description, and put it into the Aptoide wallet, and I show you how to do all of these down there in a link down there in the description. There's a guide where I explain how to set the whole thing up in your Android device, as well as on an emulator on your PC. It doesn't work on iPhone, unfortunately, but once you do have the thing set up, you're going to be accumulating these bonuses that can range all the way up to extra 35% of any money you spend, as I already mentioned. And once you do have enough of the bonuses, you can go ahead and use them in the form of the Aptoide balance to do the purchases for you. So as you can see, you do not lose anything, you only get more value for your money, and in turn are able to do more purchases as you are buying stuff already in the game anyways, right? So if you go ahead and you use my code in Aptoide, I'm going to be really appreciated. Of course, you're going to be helping me out a little bit, and I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, see ya.